guys, welcome back. This is day 2 of my tips on Windows Server Operating System 2016 and networking. Day 2, we are going to talk about lab resources that we need to set up our lab for this section. So this is going to be just downloading of resources that we are going to need and certain things that you need to enable in order to have this lab successful. So this is what is going to happen on day 2. So we are going to talk about the overview. Let's look at the overview of it, and it's all about lab resources, and we are going to download and install these lab resources that we are talking about. So let's have a demo. Alright, so these are the lab resources that we are going to get. The first of we are going to go through online processes. This means that we go to the internet to actually have these resources, and they are available on the internet. But the fourth one is not like downloading this software. It's actually built into your system. What you have to do is to enable it for it to function. Alright. And the fourth one is also important, since that without it you cannot run any virtualization or virtual machine on top of your machine. Alright, so that is what all is going to be about. So the operating system you are going to need for this lab is going to be Windows Server 2016 or 2012 R2. The reason why I brought the 2012 R2 is that some of you might not have the required RAM to run this operating system or to run this virtual machine. So I recommend that you might use the R2 because the minimum or the maximum RAM that you can actually assign to this operating system or this virtual machine is quite not at all huge, and I think you can run it if you have 4 GB RAM for your machine. So the system require more than that, so I think if you have let's say 8 GB and over, I think you can go for the 16 GB RAM, Windows Server 2016. Okay, so I'll just leave all the links of these resources in the description below. So these are the links that you're going to click on this to actually take you to the page that you can download this operating system. So the second, Oracle VirtualBox. This is a type 2 software that we are going to use. There's a whole lot. I talked to you about it in previous videos. We have so many type 2 hypervisor softwares. We have the VMware, the Proximus, and then the hypervisor or the Hyper-V manager for Microsoft. So we are going to use Oracle VirtualBox as our type 2 hypervisor software for this lab section. And we are going to get a client Windows 10 operating system or Windows operating system, and we are going to use the Windows 10, and we are going to need Weather Pro. We are talking about the editions of Windows. Alright, we are going to need the Pro, either the Pro or Enterprise, or go to Microsoft and you download the Windows 10 operating system, and whilst installing it you can choose the edition that I've actually listed here, whether you use the Pro edition or the Enterprise edition. Okay, so we are going to check whether virtualization is enabled. So there are two ways. One is going to be like a GUI format, and the other is going to be like run of commands, just a short ways that will actually pull out information from the system to clarify whether this system actually supports or whether it is being enabled on the system or not. So first we're going to look at the task manager. Where can you find a task manager? You can use, there are 3 ways that you can actually work on that. Whether you use a keyboard combination on your keyboard, you press on the control shift and then the escape key, it will launch the task manager for you. Or on your start menu or your start button, you just right click on it, then you choose task manager. So through the options here you have task manager in it. You can also click that one as well, or you can use the control alt delete, it also pop up, then you choose that one. That's the security options, so you choose task manager from it. Alright, okay, So when you open Task Manager for the first time, if you haven't opened the Task Manager for the first time, this is how it's going to look like as in a minimum format. All right. So this is the site going to be. So what you have to do is that go to the more details to see what you have here. So there's a whole lot of things going on here. The apps that you have actually launched, and then the process that going on behind the scenes that you actually don't know. So we go to the performance under the tab. So we have tabs here. So we go to the performance, and the performance, when we see on our left hand pane, we have CPU, the memories, the disk, the Ethernet. If you are connected to the internet, you see here. This is talking about the cable. Although I've connected my machine to a switch, and I have a Wi-Fi. I have also connected to a Wi-Fi. Okay, so under the CPU, you head down to the right bottom of this pane, and you can see virtualization is what enabled on the system is true. So this is the first way to check whether it is enabled. If it is not enabled, you see disabled. All right. So let's look at the second one that we are talking about, the using a CMD. So I'll search for command prompt. Either use PowerShell or command prompt, any of them will work. Alright, it doesn't matter whether you're running PowerShell as an admin or as a regular user, it will still work. So the command is system info. There are two, whether you use the executable.exe or just omit the .exe, it will still work. Okay. So you just query through the system to gather the information. This command is very, very helpful. Alright, you are going to look through the output of this command. It gives you a lot. It gives you the host name of that device, the operating system, the version name, the configuration, the boot time, the manufacturer, the processors, the boot device, the available RAM, the physical RAM, the available RAM right now, the virtual memory, and then you have the available when it comes to the virtual. And the virtual in use, have we logged in as a web group or we have logged in as a domain? And then the server that is web, or there's a local server, so there's nothing like that. And then the host space that is been actually installed, and the network cards that we have. But what we are actually focusing on is the Hyper-V requirements. On the second one, or the second option, we have virtualization enabled firmware is ACS. Okay, so it means that virtualization is being enabled. This machine support virtualization. Bear in mind that some are laptops are old machines, and these laptops don't support virtualization. And we have some machines that support it, but it's not enabled. So there are tons of videos online on YouTube that you can search on how to enable this virtualization on your system. Okay, so let's look at the specification for Windows Server. If you are going to install, if you have a good RAM and you want to install the server operating system, which is 2016, I recommend that you use 2 gig RAM and maybe give it a space of 40 gig of space. That is the hard disk in terms of hard disk that I'm talking about. Okay. We have so many types of editions of server operating system. If you're talking about the edition, you are talking about the let's look like the flavors of Windows Server operating system. Okay, so we have 4 flavors under when it comes to server operating system, or in Microsoft Word, you can say it's an edition of Server 2016. We have 4. We have the standard. We have the standard with desktop experience, and we have the data center, and we have the data center with desktop experience. These two actually require command prompts. You have to get a knowledge about running commands. Alright, so that's all going to be. And this one is going to be like having experience like click stuff. Alright, but can still both the CMD to do some scripting stuff. Alright, but on our lab session, we are going to use the 2016 standard desktop edition or experience. If you are running the 2012 R2, it's still going to show these four editions. Okay? So it is not different from anything. Whether you are using the latest operating system of server or Microsoft, or you are using the older version, you still have these four options here, right? So we are going to install Oracle VirtualBox. That's what we're going to do first. Okay, so if you want to download the Oracle VirtualBox, go to your browser. You just open your browser, any other browser that you have, whether Chrome or whether Microsoft Edge. So let's say we want to download Oracle VirtualBox. Okay, then these are the websites that actually have access to this. So we have this one is from virtualbox.org, so I think it's the right source. So we just click on it, and it will take us to the next page for us to download it. So the platform that support this software or this application, you have the Windows, the Mac OS, and the Linux, and other platforms as well. You just have to click on Windows host. Okay, but the thing is that it's downloaded, but the thing is that I've already downloaded it. Okay, so there is no need for me to actually download it. I have it on my desktop, so there's no need for me to do the download again, right? So when you are done with your download, this is the Oracle VirtualBox that I'm having. This is the setup. So let's go through the process. It is nothing just like difficult. It's just like a normal installation that's done. You show you the UAC. Okay, so the user has started. So let's click on next. It's just next. Or unless you want to change the path or something like that. So just install. Alright, so the installation is done. So after the installation is done, just click on finish. So now you can see this is the actual setup, and this is the shortcuts of the installation that you have done. I want you to notice these two. Alright, there's a bit different. Sometimes when you see this, you might think that this is the shortcut, but that is not. So this is a shortcut. When you install any application on your machine, okay. So when you are done with the installation, this is the software that is the Oracle VirtualBox. Okay, so let's go through one or two processes, then we'll just see. So these are the preferences. Alright, this is the tabs that we have. We have just 3 tabs here. The file. On the file, you can locate the preferences, the imports, the two that you can see here. Okay, so these are the preferences that we have. The input, the update, the display, the language, whatever. If you want to create a new virtual machine, this is where we come to, right? And if you want to, you have already created a virtual machine, but you want to add that image file or that file in Oracle, this is where you see add. Okay, so let's assume that I've already created a virtual machine using Oracle. When I go here, let's say I have 2016 server. You can see this is the VirtualBox the EXL. So there is the extension. If I click on it, it will just pop up here. Alright. If you want to create a new VirtualBox, this is where you click on what? New. And then it will pop up. You go through the process. This is going to be our second section. Okay, so I don't want to just go through in depth. Alright. So this, I think, let's see whether if you have another version. Alright, I think this is the end of our day 2 section, talking about the installation. We talked about certain resources that we are going to need for our lab. The Microsoft where we need the Microsoft Excel. We are going to need the Windows Server operating system, whether 2012 R2, as I explained, 2012 R2 or 2016, if you have a good RAM. And then you're going to need the Oracle VirtualBox. You can just test other type 2 hypervisor software that we have. You can use VMware, you can use the Microsoft Hyper-V. As for that one, you don't need to download any software. When it comes to the Microsoft Hyper-V, you don't need to download any software. It's also built in the system unless you add that feature somewhere else. Okay. And then we have Proximus, we have others there. So the commonly one that we normally use is the Hyper-V. That's Hyper-V Manager for Microsoft. Then we use the VMware Workstation Pro, and then we use the Oracle VirtualBox. So you can just test with these three type 2 hypervisor softwares, and then just practice and learn how to actually use them. Okay. So on the next lab, we are going to talk about installing an operating system on our virtual machine, or setting up a virtual machine on a system as a guest virtual machine on our system, so that we can start doing our practice lab. All right. Thank you. This is Will Take Bites, and leave your comment section and make sure to subscribe to my channel. It's going to be fun. It's going to be educational. You're going to learn a lot. If you're trying to enter into entry-level skills, you want to have an entry-level skills in networking, in basic computer knowledge skills, this is the channel that will actually provide you all these kind of stuff. Okay, so thank you, stay safe.